So let's bring it home with the number one recommendation. So an agent jumping in, getting their feet wet now. What's the number one thing you would give them as a recommendation as they hit the ground running?
I would say if I could redo it or not redo it, let's just say I'll give the recommendation. Making sure they have the right processes in place and really study the industry and whatever, I guess, company you're going to be representing and stick to those processes.
Insurance dudes are on a mission to escape being handcuffed by our agencies.
How? By uncovering the secrets to creating a predictable, consistent, and profitable agency sales machine.
I am Craig Pretzinger.
I am Jason Feldman.
We are agents.
We are insurance dudes.
Right now, while it's fresh in your mind, check out live.teledudes.com.
We took our notes from over 100 interviews with top agents from around the country and made it into a live webcast.
Using these strategies led Craig and I to selling more than $10 million in premium in the last 2 years.
On this call, you'll receive the exact blueprint to get the same results.
Just go to live.teledudes.com to register for this upcoming Tuesday's live call with us.
If you jump on this call with us, we're certain 2022 will be an absolutely fantastic year for you.
See you there.
So when you bring on that new team member, we want to insert them into the culture, make sure they're going to be successful. What kind of things do you do to ensure that they hit the ground running and are super successful?
The biggest thing I do is something I've never seen, I guess, done. I've worked at 2 different agencies. And the biggest thing I do is I like to understand where they're coming from. And I lay out a blueprint for their success, figure out what they want to see, whether it's a dollar amount or if it's the time freedom or it's whatever it is, just fulfillment. Right. And we kind of draw up a blueprint from that point and create milestones and stuff like that. And like the onboarding process just comes with showing them the systems. I'm very, very hands-on when it comes to the agency. I really just like to make sure people understand truly what we're doing here and all the ways to not overthink what we're doing. Because what we sell, it's very easy to, I guess, overthink in certain times, especially when you're new. And especially if they're coming from another agency, you've got to really get them to understand this isn't their old company. This is how we do it. We've got the best products, in my opinion. And we got to kind of instill that in their brain that this is what we're selling. And but from there, I just show them the agency systems and just kind of roll with it.
What I love that the theme is so far for hiring, training, and the way you approach everything, it's a mindset first approach. It's all like everything that you've talked about, culture and everything else. It's a mindset first approach because you understand that that's where it all starts. I love that. Yeah.
I mean, I've been in agencies where it's just different. They don't get to know you and just kills it, man. It really does.
Yep.
I just kind of throw people out there, to be honest, in the beginning. See how they do for the first week. I know other people don't do that, but I like to do that just to feel them out.
Well, and I think when you approach it where like, you know, what's best for you, where do you want to be, like what are your goals and stuff like that, then you can align, you can tell them what you're about, bring them in, and you already know, like you can give them the autonomy to kind of do that for the first week. Whereas if you're not asking those questions and that stuff, then being thrown in, they probably feel isolated. Cause I've been in that point where I've hired people, hey, just kind of get used to it for a little while. But I didn't start with those questions. And I think with starting with like getting to know, so they feel like, hey, you're welcomed here and I actually care about you. I think that's the missing piece when some people bring people in without like a game plan just to feel it out. And that I know that's where I've went wrong in the past. It's just like, hey, come in. And then next thing you know, dude, they're done. You know, a couple weeks later, they're just like, this place sucks.
Yeah. And you like, you know, it's coming too. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can feel it. It's like, how can we make this quicker?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So disconnected. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. What, so you bring people in, you let them get acclimated for a week. What would you say your most effective training tip from then on is?
I would say training tip, meetings, to be honest, role play. I'm big on meeting daily and just making sure they understand exactly how we, I guess, enter a call. I would say role play, 100%. Just making sure everyone's on the same page. And I know you guys talk about it all the time. That's really it. Understanding the underwriting, the rules, regulations. Like, how can we not waste time? I don't like wasting time. And I've wasted a lot of time on writing policies.
Yeah.
If you can understand the rules, I think it's in any company, it's going to excel you a lot quicker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Rules of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how about keeping the team motivated? What kind of things do you do?
Yeah. So I think I do a pretty good job with it. I just started this bonus back in January. Actually, another insurance dude, a friend of mine, kind of came up with it. We call it the Hustle Marks Tracker. And we kind of designed it around you guys, to be honest, and the CRM system we use. So we track quotes, we track sales, we track talk time, we track dials. And each category has point system associated. Basically, you have to have like 8,000 points the first month. And first time you hit it, it's $500 bonus. And basically, it gets a little harder the next month. And then you just add $100 each month to keep going. And so far, they've been hitting it. And it's really been a motivator. And just being able to see like the numbers, I guess, it just keeps everyone on track. That right there is the biggest thing, I think, next to like the one call close. I dropped the chips like most agents do nowadays. That's huge in our agency. Like, we post the videos on social media and everybody chimes in, like, that follows us, and just put out $20, $50, whatever it is for one call close. And just making sure that energy is high. I try to have music. I kind of think like Wolf of Wall Street in a way.
Yeah.
Like, if you remember them, like, I try to have some kind of music every day everyone enters the agency. I just think it sets the tone and it motivates people.
I love that.
Yeah.
So you said at the beginning, you said that you had a marketing dude, then you pulled that back. And so what are you doing now? What's your marketing strategy? What are all the different things that you're doing?
Yeah. So I started with ClickFunnels. I started building ClickFunnels out.
Funnels.
Yeah. And I honestly, I didn't learn too much. He was doing everything, and I got really upset with, I guess, the direction it was going in. I got a ton of people from, to quote, and we were talking to tons of people from it. The marketing spend was a lot lower than I expected it to be. The problem is I associated it around a giveaway. Oh. And I learned very quickly, they don't care about what you're selling. They want whatever it is you're giving away. So anyways, I got away from that. Got on live transfers, was spending way too much. Cost per sale was way too high. And it was, what, you guys started your new season January, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I promise I've listened to every single episode of you guys. Every single episode, I promise. It was like episode 400. I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. What you guys don't know probably is December of 2020, I was on a Zoom with, I think, you two, and it was just me. And I thought I hopped off like after like a minute, like you guys are about to start. Cause I thought it was too good to be true. Like, someone had a system like this. So I just started listening to the podcast, and right around like episode 400, I was like, okay, I got to do this. Like we're changing gears, the perfect time, and 100%. That's I run with the telemarketers with teledudes and internet leads. And that's it.
That's awesome. Crazy. That is crazy. I did not know that.
Isn't it interesting though how similar that is to the Telefunnel in that it took him 400 episodes of listening.
400.
It's like 100, 100 dials on a lead.
I don't know what. Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know what episode it was. You guys had Mr.
William Hung. She bangs.
That's right.
We had William Hung from American
Is that
Idol.
who was on?
He was on. I don't know what episode.
American Idol.
That was when we weren't just focusing on agents. We were interviewing all kinds of different people.
You guys did interview quite a bit of. Yeah, you guys interviewed a lot of them. But I think it was around episode where Mr. Corvinell was on, and that's I guess what pushed me to really do this. I reached out to him on Facebook, and he plays a major part in why I'm here too. So just seeing, I guess, the excitement around what you guys do, and being tired of live transfers and cost per sale being $1,200.
Right.
Yeah.
It's been fun because George has been with us since he's client 1.
He was client 1.
Yeah, he was the first one. And it's so much fun interacting with George because now we're real good friends. I mean, we went to we've hung out. So it's been really cool developing the friendships that we get from this community. And George is now. I mean, he's writing over 300K.
It's amazing.
We need to bring him back on since he's going to win. He's going to win a big award.
He's not too far from where I'm at. I think he's probably 3 or 4 hours from me, but it's just amazing knowing that there's people that are actually doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
It inspires agents like me. You know what I mean? So and
100%. I mean, that's why, dude. That's why we did the podcast, and I'll never forget coming in. I mean, I came into the company and the insurance world 5 years ago. It was only 5 years ago, and I remember coming in and seeing some numbers, and going to the events and stuff, and seeing some of these numbers, and I'm like, wait a minute. Most agents aren't doing this, but like, how are people doing these numbers? Like, somebody will get up and talk, and they're selling a couple 100,000 a month, and it's like, bro, I can't even write 10,000 a month. Like, what's the secret here? How do we do this? Because and so like that whole journey, just like seeing people that are doing things that are different and that are pretty cool is just amazing to.
And I like I don't know if you guys I relate a lot of this to the new Tony Hawk documentary. Have you guys seen it yet?
No, but I'm writing that down. On HBO?
Watch it. Yeah, it's on HBO.
Love Tony.
I relate a lot of what we do here with the Telefunnel and everything to what Tony Hawk talks about, because he's mid-50s. I think he's like 55 years old.
Something like that, yeah.
He's still on the half pipe, trying.
That's awesome.
1080s and stuff, and if you watch it, there is like a 5-minute segment where he is just eating crap.
Oh.
Over and over and over. And, he even says it to the camera, like, I'm going to get it. That's how I feel with what we're doing here. Like, I know I'm going to get to where, I'm picturing this is going to take. Like, I know it's eventually going to come.
Yeah.
Once I start believing in something, I run with it 100%.
Yeah.
And since I've owned the agency, there hasn't been one thing that's even brought me close to that feeling.
Right.
So,
I think it's just with like what I used to do, and maybe you did too, and I know Jason did, is it's like, dang it, this thing didn't work. I'll try this. And you just it's like the constant search. So maybe the rush comes from finding the thing that you think is it, and it actually isn't, or maybe it would be if you stuck with it long enough, but it's always the search,
Yep. And where I'm at right now with, the process is just searching, for more money. You know what I mean? Just to sink into it, because like you guys say, add fuel to the fire, and that's where I'm at now. Sink
Crazy.
as much as I can into it.
Cool, man. What are you doing with referrals? Are you utilizing some referrals in your agency?
Yeah, absolutely. And referrals, they're the best, right? My wife has, I think, 7 or 8 referral partners. She's amazing at what she does, and honestly, she's taught me a lot too. I didn't even get to tell this story, but I actually hired my wife at the last agency I was at, and I wasn't supposed to date her, and ended up dating her anyways. She had been in the insurance industry about 3 years at that point, and she taught me a lot about the referrals and insurance. And yes, we utilize referrals 100%. We're always asking for referrals. We're continuously keeping in touch with our mortgage partners or real estate partners. I'll have coffee with them every now and then. And I found over the time, they don't care about gift cards, cookies, donuts. They don't care about that. Like, they don't. It's all about how quick can you get it done. What I always tell my team is create COIs. Go out there on your weekend or whatever when you drive home. Just try to create 1 or 2 relationships a week if you can. And the only thing you need to tell them is, I'm quick. I'll get you what you need, less than 10 minutes. And that is how you lock a good partner in right there. That's going to stay with you. Someone that they know that they can count on. I've heard partners say, I've waited 48 hours for an agent to give me a quote back. And I'm just like, how? But yeah.
It's a layup. Like quoting a referral from a lender is a layup. They're going to buy. So why don't you turn that around and just knock it out? It's crazy.
Right. Yeah, but outside of that, gift cards to any prospect or whatever. We'll do like a Starbucks gift card, like $5-10. I find that has always been something that people get excited about. But yeah.
How about onboarding new clients? Do you have a system or a process that you use in order to kind of lock them down?
Yeah. So just I probably do. I think our agency might do it a little bit quicker than most do. Correct me if I'm wrong. I like to get them on the phone like the day after the policy sold. Like, I want us to be excited to talk to them that next day, and just make sure we just follow up, make sure everything was done correctly. If they had any concerns or anything, making sure all the documents we needed are taken care of, and really just spreading that message that what we can do for them, offer Zoom, calls if they need it, talk about our referral system we have in place and stuff like that. And overall, we've had great feedback, and that just lets me know we're doing, the right thing. But I will be honest, I'm not gonna act like we're perfect, because that, I think, right there is where we lack the most. And that is something I pay attention to the most when I'm studying, agents that have been in business a lot longer than me, on how we can develop and grow into, the onboarding, making it a lot better process for new clients and stuff like that. Not just new clients, like people renewing. And I think that's a process that you're always revamping. It's just what I see from it.
100%. And nobody is great at everything. I think the people that the greatest agents are always understanding that there's a bunch of weaknesses and a bunch of stuff and they're constantly trying to improve the different parts of the funnel and everything.
Yeah.
What's your number one retention tactic? Or what comes to mind? Like what's one of the focuses when you guys talk about retention? What's something that you feel might drive it the most in your agency?
Probably, I mean, obviously making sure we're getting all of their business, because why would someone want to leave? They had everything with you and you're doing them right. Just getting positive reviews. I don't know. I guess where I'm going with this is just making sure, I don't really know where I'm going with this. Just, I guess, trying to get every piece of business under the book. I don't know if that's a good answer or not.
No, there's no wrong answers.
That's but great. No, I just, making sure the discounts are there. It's important.
Yeah.
Making sure they're leaving reviews.
Yeah.
I think reviews are huge.
Yep.
Google Analytics are no joke.
Yeah. And it's like, that's such an easy thing to ask for that can be just an afterthought, but then you also have to help them make it happen, right? Like make it easy for them, send them the link, because if you don't send them the link, there's very low chance they're going to do it. If you do send them the link, it's still like 50-50 or maybe even less, right?
Do you guys attach that link in your email ever? Or do you guys have your CSR?
You can shoot it through whatever approved texting system you have, depending on what carrier you may represent.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But yeah, you can grab it from Google My Business. It has the little link and you can just right in there. Well, cool. So besides listening to this podcast, which I know is huge, as you've listened to every single episode, how else do you keep yourself motivated, Eric?
I've always been good at putting myself in front of people that are a lot further than I am. Yes, the podcast, I promise you, I get mad at you guys when there's not a new episode every day. And I'll find myself on repeat listening to other episodes or whatever. But what keeps me motivated is getting myself in front of people that I see as a lot bigger than me, where I want to be, and trying to get them on a phone call. I've had agents that are massive on a phone call that didn't want to give me the time of day. I've had agents that are massive that took the time out of their day to call me when they don't even know who I am and just connect with me and give me tips and stuff like that. So I would say when I'm feeling really down, I'm reaching out to, whoever I guess inspires me. You know what I mean? So I think that is my biggest motivator, knowing that in my down times or in my lows of the business, there's people out there that are making it happen, and I'm just seeking inspiration.
Yeah.
I freaking love that. And I don't think anyone's ever articulated that, but it's 100% true. And I don't think most people don't have the gall to, like, in those low points, to reach out to somebody that's actually achieved more. Like, there's a certain amount of humility that you need for that, because that those aren't the points that you would feel to reach out, right? But these are the points that I need to reach out, and I'm going to take that advice and roll with that big time. Like, that is because it's true that, like, you reach out to you talk to anybody who's crushed it harder than you, and immediately you feel motivated. Like, at least I do.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, like, that's huge. That's what an awesome.
Yeah. And there's and I find you West Coast agents are more willing, I guess, to talk. And give advice. I don't know, something about the Midwest and where I'm at,
or the East. Imagine reaching out to Tom Burke's cold.
Oh man,
he's a good dude though.
He's awesome. But dude, like that
funniest dude I think you've ever interviewed.
Yes. Yeah,
dude. You guys have ever interviewed. Like, I think I played him 3 or 4 times.
So we were so blown away. Like, when we got off, we were like, that was the best interview we've ever done. That was incredible.
Because literally, like, how he talks and everything, like, I come from an Italian family.
Yeah.
That is literally them. Like, Chicago.
Yeah.
I think he's more New York, but it's literally them. And I'm just rolling. I don't have that, like, full Italian, like he has. And I was just cracking up.
Hey, guess what my favorite cheese is?
Dude, the best
whatever.
part,
You're fired.
Tom intimidated like our team, like at the insurance dudes, intimidated the team and intimidated us a little bit at first. And it was like, he just has that, he has that East Coast, like he's got that harder exterior. Yeah.
It's swagger. It really is. And once I found out like what size of an agent he was, like that's someone you got to pay attention to.
Yeah.
And he's deep too, man. Like he's spitting all kinds of like wisdom and quotes and books that he's read. And I'm like, dude, I love that. It's so good. Yeah.
Yeah. We were writing a lot down during that one. That was great.
He's so good.
Yeah.
So looking forward, you're obviously trying to push ahead. And what are some of the biggest changes that you see affecting our agencies within the next couple of years?
Automation, 100%. Yeah, automation. I think if you're not growing, you're dying, right? So, the big internet companies are going to take over everything. I don't believe, it's sad to think, but I don't believe there's going to be brick and mortar agencies. I think everything's going to be ran from your house or, your shed or wherever you're at. But that's where I truly believe it's going. And I think if you're a growing agency, you're going to survive no matter what for many more years.
Yeah.
As long as you have the right processes in place.
All about processes.
Yeah.
So let's bring it home with the number one recommendation. So an agent jumping in, getting their feet wet now, what's the number one thing you would give them as a recommendation as they hit the ground running?
I would say if I could redo it or not redo it, let's just say, I'll give the recommendation, making sure they have the right processes in place and really study the industry and whatever, I guess, company you're going to be representing and stick to those processes. I think we all go through it as agency owners or business owners. We're always revamping, but insurance is a completely different monster. Yeah. And if you come in with the right processes and just stick with it and run with it from the very beginning, you're going to be massively successful. And I guess the next piece would be, don't be scared to spend money. I was very scared in the beginning, and you can't be scared in what we do because it eventually comes back to you.
Both
100%.
are huge sound pieces of advice. I wish that I had heard at the beginning, right? I didn't know processes, so it was like a circus and afraid to spend any money, total scarcity mindset. And nothing gets done, right? It's like running on the hamster wheel.
Yeah.
But taking the time to put those, we've done 1 million episodes on doing processes, having processes in place. And, most of us entrepreneurial folks hate that piece of it, right? Putting together processes is like kryptonite, but it saves you so much time and money down the road.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool, man. Well, Eric, dude, you went the distance with us. Thank you so much. Yeah, just want to acknowledge you for being such an awesome insurance dude. I love your story that you worked for an agent first. A lot of us didn't do that. I did for a couple months in my father-in-law's agency, but I think that I think you get a different perspective when you actually are in the trenches for a while. So I think that's super awesome. And you're dominating with your family and everything. I love that too. Great. So love it, man.
Yeah. Thank you. It's awesome to have you on. It's always good to see you on Wednesdays and interact with you in the group, but really grateful to have you. And I'm glad that we helped motivate you. I mean, it's cool. It's really, really awesome.
No, thank you to you guys for, being very inspiring. I appreciate it a lot.
Oh, shucks.
Love it, man. Thank you.
Hey, what are you still doing here?
Well, while you're still here and while it's fresh in your mind, check out live.teledudes.com.
Yeah, if you weren't listening before, we took notes from over 100 interviews with top agents from around the country and made it into a live webcast.
Using these strategies did help Craig and I write over $10 million in premium in the last couple years.
And let me tell you, on this call, you'll receive the exact blueprint to get the very same results.
Again, that's live.teledudes.com to register for this upcoming Tuesday's live call with us.
And if you jump on with us, we are certain 2022 will be an absolutely fantastic year for you.
See you there.